Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne, and as promised yesterday, today I'm going to be doing pack 11 of the Ferrari 250 GTO. So we're going to be doing stages 81 to 90, and I believe we're going to be continuing on the bulkhead that we've been working on and the dashboard. Obviously we did the steering wheel last time as well, and obviously in this stage we're doing one of the tyres, which I did yesterday, which looks like that. So all 4 tyres and wheels are completed in this car now. So moving on. If you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen. That'll take you to the Agora Models website where you can get this for yourself. I'm going to jump straight into it. Without further ado, let's get cracking. So in stage 81 here, we've got the dashboard and firewall components. By the look of it, there's a lot of fiddly stuff in this pack. As you can see, we've got some electrics and switches in here as well. So let's get everything out here. That looks fun. Look, we've got a key there. So first thing I want is this section here, which is the windscreen wiper motor, and I need to put the top cover on. That looks just like this, and it is shaped, so we're just pushing these 2 parts together like that. I then want to take the bracket for that, which looks like this. Take this section we worked on last time, and that's just going to go over the top like that there. It's actually held in with a type B screw. So I've got that here. Get that all the way in. It needs to be in that way, so this bladed edged lug is going to be able to support the washer. And as you can see, we do have a slot in here, and that's just going to be pushing onto that section like this. Just need to put it at an angle sort of thing, so when it goes in, this section here, getting it all the way in, is going to fit flush on the back there, just like that. I then want these 2 controls here. We're not putting glue into these, but I'm going to be putting them into these sections here. So they need to go in the opposite side to these switches. So they're going on this side. Now they go in from the black sides first. So the reason that you don't want to glue these is because they're going to act like switches. So I'm just going to get these in. And basically when you push these, they're going to operate the switch just at the back there. So let's open all these electrics. So we've got a couple of switches here. We've got one that's got a green plug, one that's got a yellow plug. I want the green plug one. Now look how this switch operates. Basically when this is depressed, the switch is on. That's going to give you an idea of what way round we need to actually put this in here. Because what I want to do is put this in this way. I'm just going to push it down. And you do want to make sure that goes all the way down in there, because the way this switch is going to operate is when the key is in the slot here, it should operate that switch. So I'm going to check that happens. So that is absolutely perfect, and that's working absolutely fine. Now we've got these 2 parts here. They're not actually telling me what these parts are called. So I've got to struggle on with that. Basically, I need this section here first, and this section, which is actually just going to be going into here, just like this. I'm just going to slide it down, and then I want to put its partner on top of it. This looks like a really small fire extinguisher. I'm guessing that's probably what it is. And push them together just like that. We're going to do the same on this one. Oh, perhaps these are the same size. They look different to me. And then push this in here like this. They look like fire extinguishers, but they're not. They're ignition coils. And I want to retrieve the firewall, which looks like this. Now on the back of this, these are going to be going into place on this side and this side here. So one in there. I suppose you could glue these, but these are fitting quite tight in there. And one there. Now it says retrieve the cable with the red connector, and I'm guessing it's this one. That looks brown to me. Colour blindness is terrible. And a yellow one. So I'm going with this one. I think this is red. This has got an LED on it here. It's the only one with an LED on it. And what I need is the dashboard assembly that we are working on here. That's actually just going to go into the hole just here. Perfect. Now with these, what I tend to do is just drop a bit of resin around here to stop it going anywhere now. Rather than glue, this is going to set instantly. And I'm going to blast that. Perfect. Which means the last cable I've got is this yellow switch here. What I need to do is take this section here, and I'm going to be putting the switch in. The switch needs to go this way in. Let me put it in first. So it sits in like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Now I do have a tiny piece here left over. I'm just going to check to make sure that should have gone in somewhere. Okay, I have found where this goes. It's basically for the key. It's the barrel for the lock. Silly me didn't put it in. But there you go, it's in now. So that's how that looks, and then I can put the key in here. We do have some C-screws left over though. In stage 82, going to be making the battery. And there's all the pieces, but we need to put that to one side. Because I need to bring over this section here, because on the steering, which I've got here, I've got to remove this front end, which is going to be a little bit difficult, I think. I've taken the exhaust pipe just out there, just so I can get to this again, okay? So I'm just taking all the parts out for this. And I'm going to put this to one side. Now what we have here is the screw, the other side of this axle, and this little cross section just there. Then what I want to do is bring over the steering wheel that we created last time, and I'm going to be putting all of these components into here. So this section is going to be going on top, just like this, and this component is going to be going into the holes in the middle there. So let's get them in. That wasn't the easiest thing. And then use that screw here to tighten those together. So just getting that tight. And there we go. That's what the end of the steering looks like now. Now I've already pushed this steering column towards the steering wheel, so I'm not going to hurt that horn cable, but it is asking you to do that now. Put that to one side, and I want to bring over the firewall again. And what I'm going to do is put the battery tray into position. So this does have locating lugs. It's going to go into these points just here and here, just like that, and that's held in with type B screws. Screw that into place. I'm just going to break away from instructions after installing that, and I want to take this battery here. Now this side here is going to be the side that's pointing out. We want to make sure these slots are at the top. I'm going to put the battery cover terminal in here and push that in. Then I'm going to be taking this strap and putting these into the things at the side. So that's how that's looking. And then finally I'm going to take the terminals here with the silver parts facing out, and I'm just going to push these into place here. So one this side and one the other side. So we have made a battery. All I'm going to do is put this onto the mounting plate there, and it just pushes in. There we go, it's the battery in position. Put that to one side, and I'm going to make an air duct now, which means taking this wall and the duct. That's just going to go on top here like that. So it's actually, it can only fit in one way, so it's actually pointing up. It's held in from the other side with a type B screw. So I've got that here, just screwing that in. Now I'm going to put this on the firewall just here, onto the back, clip that in. You can probably hear it clicking. That's it. Then I've got this bracket for a reservoir to go in. It just slots into here like this, and it should be pointing downwards like that there. And then I've got a brake fluid reservoir here, which is just two parts that need to go together. The cap on here, so that's looking like that. You see we've got a hole there. That is what that section we just put in is for. We're just going to be pushing the lug into that hole. I am going to glue this coil into place. It keeps falling out. But with that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. You're going to love stage 83 because it's a big box. Looking like that, we've got the roof. Now be careful you make sure you take all of these parts out from that roof section as well. Got them here. Now I want to bring over the rear section of the car that we worked on last time. I'm going to be putting the roof into place. So this headliner that we've got on here, just make sure you remove that for a second. It's in quite tight, but it doesn't have to go on yet. That comes off. Because what I want to do is I want to put these lugs here and here into the holes at the top, just like that. I'm going to need to turn it over and screw it in with type N screws. So bringing up my mat, put that like that. And I want to put 2 N screws in here, a little bit of oil. That's going to attach that together. That's good. Turn that over. Now, do you remember we had some type C screws left over from a couple of stages back? We need those now. We actually need 2 of these because they're going to screw in these pillars at the front here. So, one this side. And one just at the other side here. You do want to make sure that these are fully into the slots before you screw them in. That's perfect. So, that's looking good. But that's one side. Okay, I'm going to keep this mat up here because we need the headlining now. And what I've got is the fuel filler here. I want to put this in this side so that the fin end is towards the bottom. So if I just push that in, that'll give you an idea of how that looks on that side. And then bring over the car. I'm about to put this into position on here. And making sure that all the lugs are engaged on the top of the roof there. That looks good. You should be able to see the fuel filler hole through there. Now I'm going to secure that down with 4 N screws. So I'll get all of these in. Now in this bag here we've got some stickers. And I'll place the 2 larger ones. Let me just get one out. I'm going to be putting them over the screw head at the back there. So one that side. Now these aren't the screw heads that we've just put in. These are the ones that are caused from attaching the headlining down. So they look like that. And then the smaller ones here are just going to be going over this one just here. So it makes them look like big rivets, really. Then I want the roll bar that we had at the end of stage 75. And they're going to go into the top of these sections just here. Now, I don't know if there's a way around it goes. I'm going to check. One in here. Let me just check the other way around. There is kind of like a way that they go, but they're not easy to get in. So you sort of have to offer them up and then slide it in like that. And then this roll bar can fit over the top of this section just there like that. Just to the bit that we put that tape in. That sticker, if you like. Now, once again, I want end screws just to screw this into place. And just one on this side. So that's the roll bar in. Now, I had to cut away while I looked back at my camera just to make sure that I got everything out of that box because I am actually missing something. The next thing to do is to actually put this little cover in for the fuel cap. Yeah, then looking around, I realised I managed to find it. So that just pushes in to this point just here. And there you go. That's it. What I am going to want to do is take one of the doors. This one here, this is the right door. I'm going to be putting that into place just onto the hinge section there. Get that in. Perfect. I've kept the door open for a second because I'm going to be attaching that with C screws. Now we want this door to be in tight. I've got a C screw here, put some oil on this. I'm going to get that screwed in. Screwed in 2 places. I don't think I can get these any tighter. But there we go. That is the door in. Lovely smooth lines there. And then obviously that can open. Whoops. Just like that. Perfect. So once we've done one door, I'm just going to do the same on the other door on this side. So once the doors are all in, as you can see, they're in there. I'm just going to be putting some lights in the back. So the orange ones first are going to be indicators. So they're going to go at the bottom, which means the red ones, which I've got here, are going to be the tail lights. They're going to go at the top. Perfect. And with those all in, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now this is the point where I meant to make the tyres, but I did that video yesterday, so if you haven't seen that, it's up there. But I do have some extra parts here. First off, I've got the rear view mirror. I know I should have put the cloth down, but I'm just going to put that in here like that. I'm also going to bring over what we've worked on the dashboard at the moment, and I'm just going to be putting that on top of those sections that's there and there, and I'm holding that in with C screws. And then I'm going to take the dashboard support and having it this way round. I'm just going to be putting that over the lugs here and here. And once again, type C screws to hold that into place. And then turning that over, I'm going to be putting the steering wheel in. So I want to put the wires through the hole, just like that. You can see that in there. Now I need to hold it in from the other side with a type B screw. Hopefully you can see on the top camera, we've got the hole just there for this to go into there. That will hold this in. But there we go, that's the steering wheel into place. Then I need this switch that we created in stage 81. I think this time I am going to put my mat down, because I'm going to be putting that switch just over that button next to the key there. So if I get this in, it's going to go in this way. I want to make sure that that switch is going to be engaged in there. I'm holding it in with a type B screw. Just push this out so I can get that switch in there. Perfect. So it should click when I press it. That was hard. That was very hard. Don't mind telling you. Then I've got the fire extinguisher here. That's just going to slot into that position there. Obviously upside down because the car's upside down at the moment. And you can see how that's looking. Now I'm going to put that to one side because we create the wheels now. And obviously I've already done that. So if you haven't seen that video, I've put it up there. But that's the end of that stage. So in stage 88, we've got some wheel arches here, and I think we're going to be doing the pedals as well. So I'm going to get all of this out. So first thing I want to do is I want to take this tiny caddy here. I don't know what this is. And I'm going to be putting this pedal into that. Now you can see how this operates, that we're going to have a switch just into this section here. So I'm looking for the one with the black connector. Let's have a look at the end. That's a purple. So it's that one there, black connector. And I want the cable in this way. So that's going to go in just like that there. Okay, so we've got two kinds of clips here. This one and this one. It's this clip that I want now. To hold this in, just going to put this in like that and push that in. And that's going to hold that into place. You should be able to click that switch and hear it clicking. Perfect. Now I'm going to be putting the accelerator pedal together, which is just these two parts here. And what I'm going to do is have this go underneath and then round. It needs to go in a lot, so then that can go into the top just there like that. I want to take the other switch now, which has got the blue plug at the end. And I want to put that into the hole just there. So it's lying flat. And then once again, I've got this bracket here to put over the top. It's actually a soft plastic, this is, so the sides tend to bend up like that, but don't worry about it, I've managed to get that in. Just want to make sure that when I push this, it's going to operate that switch. You can hear that click, so that's good. So I want the accelerator pedal first, and that's just going to go into that point just there. So put it over the top. Line it all up. Pushing it into place, and I'm holding it in with type B screws, which I've got here. Perfect. And then once again, I just want to check that that clicks. Excellent. Then I'm going to do the same for the brake pedal. Now that's going to go into the point just above it here. Make sure the wires are coming out the back as well. Once again, B screws to get that in. That's perfect. And then once again, just check that that's clicking as well. Then I've got the clutch pedal. This is the only one that isn't attached to a switch, which is just going to go into the hole here. And there you go. That's the clutch pedal in. Then finally, I've got this shaft here that I just want to put both of these parts here together. So I'm just pushing that in the end. So that looks like that. This is the prop shaft, and that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 89, as you can see here, I've got the floor and the body. So I'm going to get all of these parts out. Okay, so I'm going to put all of this just to one side. Bring up my mat, bring up the car, and just turn this over like this. Because I want to put, just moving these wires out the way here, I want to put the interior into the car. So this is the interior here. I want to make sure that there's no wires pinched when I'm putting this in. And there we go. Nice and easy, into position just like that. Now when I turn it over, I want to make sure that this oil inlet hose is into the hole just at the side here. Just like that. You can see that in. Turn it back over, and I can secure it in with 4 type C screws. So we've got just 2 at the back here. And 2 just at the side here. I'm going to need type B screws, and I need the boot frame that we worked on, which looked like that. That was in stage 75. And again, keeping this away from all of these wires here, I'm going to put this in. Just going to sit on top just like this. And I'm just ensuring no cables are pinched. They're not. So B screws, and these are held in 4 places here. Actually, it's B screws here, but it's actually C screws just at the front, back here. All I'm doing then is going to retrieve the 2 arches that we had. These were in stage 88. Get these in. So again, making sure these wires are out the way at the moment. Lining up this indent on this side. That one is going to go in here. Held in with type B screws. That's one in. Do the same on the other side, again ensuring that I don't trap any leads. Find it easier to just line the back up first, like that, and then do the front. Perfect. Excellent. They're both in place. Getting tired of these doors opening, so I'm just putting some tape just to stop them opening here. So in the front, I've got this support rod to go in. Just going to go into the point 1 here, 1 just at the side. So when that's in, it should look like that. Turn this over, and I'm just going to group together all of these cables that are coming out the front now, because I want to just cable tie all these together, because I'm going to be putting this firewall into place now. It looks like that. So make sure that the steering column goes through the hole here, just like that, and then wiggle this into position. The goal is so you don't see any of the silver, you see? So that looks good on that ledge there. Might have to do some work just on that side, but I've got that in where I need it to be. And I want some type C screws to put this in now, so they actually go through the side here. So let me just line this up. And I'm going to get 1 in there. And 1 just down the bottom here, and do exactly the same on the other side. And all I need is type C screws now, just into the 4 holes that we've got along the side here. So once again, it's quite a nice way to put the car together, rather than put the whole thing together in one go. As you can see, we've done it in bits and pieces, so I like that. There's 4 screws at the bottom here, but they're going in perfectly. And that is all there is to do in that stage, and I'm sure you'll agree, it's looking really good at the moment. I am going to have to try and find this. I don't know where that is. I'm sure I'll find it soon. So the last stage of this pack, and just so you know, the recording time at the moment is 2.5 hours, so it's quite a lot. I want the left-hand side. I want the left-hand side one first. That's going to be going on here just like this. And then the right-hand side will be going on this side over here. Now I'm holding them in with type B screws. I want to insert this into the battery tray here. I want to insert this into the battery tray here. Just like that. And I'm holding it in with 4 B screws. Excellent. Get the switch. And I want to put the switch in this way round. So the terminal that hasn't got anything on it will be towards the right hand side. That's held in with 2 L screws. And then just over the top here, I've got these braces to go in. So the smaller one's going to go on the front. And you're just going to push this into the holes here. So one there and one here. And to clip that in. And then the larger one is going towards the back. One there. And one there. And make sure that they're into position. Just like that. I want to put the top of the battery cover in. So that's just going to go in like this. And they did provide a special screw for that. This long silver one here. And then finally I can take this circuit board. Make sure these wires are coming out the bottom here, because the circuit board can go over the top of them just like that. With the number 10 towards this wall here. Now that's being held in with type B screws. And then just the switch connector here, which has got the blue section on it, is going to go into socket 17. Put that to one side. Just bring this section over again now. And remember the prop shaft that we had? I'm going to just put this in now. We're just going to be putting this side in here. And this side's going to be going into the car. So put this side in first, actually. It's going to need some bending to get this round. But there's enough give in there to get that in just like that. That's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So that was almost 2.5 hours of recording, not including the time it took to do the tyres. So this is quite a hefty pack there, but looking good. I think that barrel for the door is actually in my box here. It is. It's in my box here. Let me just prove that to you. Otherwise, you're going to think I've lost things. It's just there. So I'm going to be putting that back in as well. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.